And we're live. How are we, lads? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to the Sunday football review for round number 14. We are at the halfway mark of the NRL season, and we're going to get into the review in a moment. We saw two games of football today, man. We saw Penrith beat Manly 32-22, and then obviously the earlier game, Melbourne over Newcastle, 36 points to 28. Crazy day. Crazy day of footy. Lot of points. A lot of points in both sides. A lot of points. Hello to Josh. Hello to Luke. Hello to Jeffrey. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate that. Press the thumbs up button. And hello to everyone else that's watching. Not going to be on here for too long. There isn't really much to go over. Penrith got away with a win over Manly. And obviously Melbourne were very ugly today. But they ended up winning against the Knights down there in Melbourne. Hello to Daniel Bate. And shout out to everyone in the UK that's watching. If you're watching it back as a video or you're watching the live stream, thank you for tuning in. Hi Nick, not the result you wanted, but on to next week. Daniel, you're not wrong, bro. You win some, you lose some. You just gotta lick your lips and move on. I will be flying to Canberra next week, attending Raiders versus Cowboys. So looking forward to Friday night. Hopefully we can get a win down there. Should be good. Hopefully, we got a fairly good record in Canberra, so. And we get our full team back, so I'm pretty optimistic against the Raiders. You win some, you lose more. Yeah, exactly. Sound like a bloody gambler. Bloody those TV ads. You win some, you lose more. For free, confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. Alright guys, we're going to get into it. Look, there's not a lot to really go over today. It was a predictable day of footy. I knew Penrith Manly would be fairly close. I thought Manly were good. I thought Manly were actually pretty good, but defensively, couldn't defend Toto, couldn't defend Taruva. Dane Laurie just wanted to play footy. The forwards were very good. Manly did lose Ola Kawatu around, I think it was like the 20th or 30th minute, which definitely affected Manly. You can see the way they played. It affected Manly. But I think the other thing that it really affected Manly was their goal kicking. Ruben Garrick, brother, what is going on? Garrick missed I think he missed the first 4 kicks. And then he actually kicked one at the end. I think Manly scored 5 tries. I think it was 5 tries in the end. I think Talau scored 4 of them, and Saab got 1, and Garrick missed 4 goals. If he kicks all 4 of them goals, Manly, 24, 26. Manly lose the game by fucking 4 points. If he kicks all them goals. Ridiculous. If you're a Manly supporter, obviously you'd be happy with the effort. You'd be disappointed with the defense and whatever, but how do you miss 4 kicks in a row? I'm actually surprised that Daly Cherry Evans didn't take over the goal kicking, but I suppose they're just gonna back in Garrick and trust that he will kick one. So I think Garrick all week will be practicing on his goal kicking and his defense as well. I've spoken about this a few times this year, and I think you guys have heard me say it. Ruben Garrick and Jason Saab together, defensively, just it isn't working. I don't know if Manly are going to pull the trigger and they're going to change anything with that combination, but defensively, Garrick and Saab together, it's a bad combination for defence. It might be alright in attack at times, but maybe it's time you move Ruben Garrick to left centre, have him partner up with Tommy Talau, and move Cooler onto the right edge and have him partner up with Jason Saab. Maybe they need to pull the switch and put them both on different edges because the amount of defensive problems that they're going through, Garrick and Saab, I don't know what's going on there, man. Like, Brian Toto scored 3 tries on that edge, and I reckon 2 of them were because Saab, and 1 of them were because of Garrick. So they got to get that stuff right, man. Now, if Manly shouldn't be panicking, man. Like, I just had a good look at the NRL ladder before, and from 6th to 13th, it is literally one game. Like, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy how close the ladder is from 6th to 13th. Now, as a Cowboys fan, as a Cowboys supporter, I don't want to be too biased here, but if the Cowboys had a bye, we would actually be coming 8th on the ladder, which is crazy. We're the only team in the NRL to not have a bye, so we actually would be 8th if we had a bye. We're the only team that hasn't had a bye yet, so just crazy stats there, man. Dragons are sitting in 8th at the moment. You've got like the Dogs that are obviously got to play tomorrow against Parramatta. Newcastle losing obviously doesn't help them. It's just the whole comp's close. It's very close. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all does play out over the coming days. Player of the game from Penrith against Manly. Look, there's a few you could throw. You could throw Toto in there. You could throw Laurie. You could throw Taruva. Fisher Harris was very, very good. I'm going to say Brian Toto. Look, I don't really like backing wingers for player of the game, but when you score 3 tries and you had that much of an influence on the game, I think Brian Toto, player of the match. I think so. Good on Penrith, 10-point win over Manly. We'll see how they go next week against the Knights. And Manly, well, they play the Dragons at Brookie, which I'm sure is going to be a great game. Now, moving on to the earlier game. Melbourne Storm 36, Newcastle Knights 28. You can't really say Melbourne had excuses with Origin players because, well, Xavier Coates didn't have to do much in State of Origin and he didn't get a lot of ball today. And Harry Grant was pretty good today for the Storm. So you can't really say Origin really had an effect on the Storm, but I think they might have just took him a little bit light. A little bit light. Maybe they thought, you know what, if we show up and we do everything we should win easy. Maybe they took him a little bit cheap. Newcastle went down there and they had nothing to lose. Nobody really gave the Knights no one gave the Knights a chance. And during the game, you know, especially when the Knights were in front, it reminded me of Roosters Cowboys last week. Everyone was like, oh, Roosters will win by 30, Cowboys will get flogged, blah, blah, blah. Didn't happen, obviously. Cowboys got the 2 points, but the Knights were playing a bit like the Cowboys. Nothing to lose, sort of back against the wall mentality. No one thinks they can win. You're against all the odds in the world. Newcastle, they showed a lot of fight today, and that's one thing that they haven't really done over the last couple of weeks. I know they were flogged last week at home. So the Knights showed a bit of grit and a bit of determination out there today. Good stuff. I thought Jackson Hastings, I know he's been getting a lot of criticism lately. I thought Hastings had a pretty good game today. I thought he was fairly good. I thought the young fullback on debut had a really solid game. Good stuff from, what's his name, Sharp. He was good. On Gagai was good for the Knights. Cross on a dummy half looked a lot better than Jaden Brayley. Been calling for that for a few weeks. So, the Knights did lose the game by 8 points, but they can keep their head up high. I thought they had a real crack. As for Melbourne, I thought Farlongo had some good moments. I thought Wishart was probably the best player in the field. I thought he was very, very good. Hughes was outstanding. Grant Anderson had some good moments. Nick Meaney was very good for the Storm. Nick Meaney had a great game. Good to see him play really well. Yeah, I think Melbourne will be a little bit disappointed with their defence, and Craig Bellamy probably wouldn't be happy with that. So, good stuff, I guess, from the Storm. You know, Obviously, not a great win for Melbourne, but it's a win, and that gets them, I think, first on the ladder again. So they're back on top of the ladder, which is good. Good for the Storm. Not much more to say on this game, except Xavier Coates didn't really get a lot of ball, which was surprising. But I suppose with Munster, Pappenhausen out there, they're going to go more right to the left anyway. So I think Pappenhausen might be back next week too. I'm not sure, but I think he's due back pretty soon. So Pappenhausen could be back next week, which will be a big in for Melbourne. Really big in. So solid performance from the Storm. They'll take the 2 points and they'll move on to the Warriors next week over there in New Zealand, which is going to be another banger of a game. Player of the game, I'm going to give it to Wishart. I really liked what I saw from that young Tyron Wishart. I think he's got a really big future, just quietly. Alright guys, that concludes the review. Just thought I'd come on here for, 10 minutes or so. Just over 10 minutes. Do a quick review on Sunday footy. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow for another live stream. I might do my mid-season review tomorrow. I think we're at the point now where it's the middle part of the season and it's time to do a bit of a review on each team so far this year. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Mid-season review tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun. Like and subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow.